This can be achieved simply by measuring the time an ion needs to travel from one end of an evacuated tube to the other, time of flight, TOF, or by other means, for example quadrupole, or BITRAP. The detection works via induced charge when the ion hits a surface, at the destination end of the flight tube in case of TOF, or for example via an AC image current induced as oscillating ions pass nearby, or BITRAP. Unlike for example for antibody microarray data where each protein can be identified through its location on the array, for mass spectrometry the quantification must be accompanied by a complex identification procedure. To this end, ions of a particular mass-to-charge ratio are fragmented by collision with inert gas molecules, mostly nitrogen or argon. The fragments are then subjected to a second round of mass spectrometry assessment, tandem mass spectrometry or MS/MS. The resulting MS2 spectrum contains enough information to identify the unfragmented peptide ion, in a second step eventually enabling to deduce the original protein. Like other techniques, quantitative mass spectrometry can be used to execute single-channel measurements, label-free, or to produce multi-channel data, measuring several biological conditions, up to 6 for example via TMT labeling, at the same time. Above examples illustrate that the input into any comprehensive software solution is highly diverse. For cDNA microarrays alone several so-called imaging software packages exist, for example GenPix, BioImage, AISN's Digitize, that convert the pixel intensities of the scanned microarray image into one signal intensity per gene. Also, specialized software is available for the equivalent task in case of 2D gels, for example Decider, and for protein identification in case of mass spectrometry, Mascot, Sequest, just to name few examples. Thus, the first step necessarily means to parse different formats for import. Furthermore, different platforms require different preprocessing steps which deal with platform-specific systematic errors. While local background subtraction may alleviate local spatial bias in different areas of a microarray, mass spectrometry spectra may require isotope correction and other measures specific for mass spectrometry. Any comprehensive software solution necessarily needs to provide a considerable number of specialized algorithms in order to parse and preprocess each type of data. On the positive side, there are also certain preprocessing steps required for all platforms alike. Normalization of multiplicative and/or additive offsets between different biological conditions is generally required, since pipetting errors or different label incorporation rates affect the overall signal intensities obtained for each biological sample. Also, more than half of the genes of higher organisms tend to be not expressed to a measurable amount in a typical multi-conditional experiment, with the exception of studying embryonic development. Thus, for each dataset, regardless of the technique it is acquired by, genes whose signal intensities remain below the detection limit throughout all biological conditions under study can, and should, be filtered out. Regarding the fold changes, ratios with a certain biological reference condition in the denominator, instead of absolute signal intensities is common practice for microarray and other high-throughput data. A gene switching from a signal of 0.001, for example in normal tissue, to 0.002, in cancer, would be otherwise interpreted as being twofold upregulated, although meaningful signals may start only in the range of 103. Further, measurements need to be performed repeatedly in order to assess the reproducibility of a signal. Repetitions are cost and labor intensive. There have been many attempts to compute a p-value from one single measurement alone, more than 10 years ago for microarray measurements as well as recently in the mass spectrometry field, Zhang et al., 2006. However, distributions of gene-abundant signals tend to vary, for example with signal intensity. For each one measurement statistical test I know of, a quantile-quantile plot revealed that its distribution assumption does not hold. Thus these tests do not at all yield proper p-values. While this is inconvenient for the wet lab life scientist, it simplifies data integration for the bioinformatician. For few, i.e. in the range of 3 to 4 repetitions, the significance of gene signals can be tested for example using the Lemma package, by Gordon Smith, for reference see Smith, 2005, which is based on a very reasonable distribution assumption. This method, albeit originally developed for microarray data, seems to work properly for mass spectrometry data, as well. If there are 6 or more repeatedly performed measurements per condition, There usually are not. Permutation tests such as the Significance Analysis of Microarray Data, SAM, Tusher, 2001, should be used. The latter can do without any distribution assumption, extracting the distribution from the data, by randomly permutating the measurements many times. Thus, there is no reason not to use it, for example, also for mass spectrometry data. At the very moment, 6 repetitions represent considerable costs here. However, this may become feasible in the future. Thus, data integration can be achieved by a limited set of platform-specific preprocessing steps before data are collected into a genes times measurements matrix variable. The last step of preprocessing, the normalization, can be applied to data stemming from any platform in the same manner. There are different normalization algorithms such as log linear normalization, Bayes-Bart, 2000, locally weighted scatterplot smoothing, Lawes, Cleveland, 1979, quantile normalization, Bolstad, 2003, or variance stabilization, Huber, 2002, that can be applied under different circumstances, for example variance stabilization when differing variances for low and high signal intensities pose a problem. However, the choice depends less on the particular platform, but on particularities of the data and in part on personal preference, which will be discussed in detail in 4.2.3. The way a normalization is iterated to produce directly comparable numbers throughout all measurements of a multi-conditional experiment depends on the data being single or multi-channel. In the latter case, each non-control channel is fitted to the local control channel of the same measurement, hybridization, incubation, run. In the former case, single channel, each measurement is fitted to the median of the repeatedly performed measurements of the control condition. Either single or multi-channel data will be obtained from any technical platform. Thus, one of the two above ways to iterate normalization methods will be applicable, in combination with any of the above normalization methods, regardless of which technical platform the data stem from. The resulting normalized data can universally be stored in another genes times measurements matrix of the same size. Thereafter, single genes are filtered out that show low signals throughout the conditions under study, or insignificant, for example irreproducible, change. Sometimes it pays off to discard a single, outlying, measurement instead of too many genes. In each case, the filtering process results in yet another genes times measurements matrix, but one of considerably reduced size, this time. Thus, preprocessing results stemming from a plethora of different technical platforms are stored in a common format. Above examples illustrate the demands placed on any comprehensive software solution. It needs to provide a multitude of both platform-specific and ubiquitously applicable algorithms. For any larger collection of interacting functions, one should think about ways to intelligently structure such code in order to properly develop a larger software package. Aspects range from reusing code, object-oriented programming, and providing to the users a quick, one-click, automated, way of reporting bugs, to implementing a quickly adaptable menu structure, and using a concurrent version system. In addition to simply being large, such a collection of algorithms tends to be under constant development. Better versions of already comprised algorithms will appear, new functions will need to be added regularly. Without extensive manpower, satisfactory maintenance of the system is only feasible when original source code, delivered along with the published method, can be plugged. Unfortunately, the vast majority of above-mentioned algorithms for parsing data from different microarray platforms, preprocessing, and statistics is written in R. The programming environment R, http://www.rproject.org, an open source version of S+, is the natural habitat of the statistician. In contrast to MATLAB, it provides tailored data types facilitating the handling of factors and levels, and more than one type of for missing values, NaN, to provide only 2 examples. For microarray and other high-throughput biological data, there is a comprehensive open-source R toolbox called Bioconductor, www.bioconductor.org, providing a collection of recently 460 R packages written and maintained by scientists all over the world, free to use. Several colleague, bioinformaticians, who were programming in MATLAB in the 1980s switched to R for one or the other of above advantages since then. However, Bioconductor can be regarded a platform made by bioinformaticians for bioinformaticians.